It's a beautiful day today and we're reading about some more entitled people. Once again, we're back on this beautiful subreddit. I'm so excited for this and I hope you guys are too. Having an absolutely beautiful day today and I hope you guys are too. And with that being said, let's read about some frustrating entitled people. Enjoy, guys. That was my food. Me and my husband recently separated. I let a friend who was evicted stay with me until a new place was ready. She works for Whole Foods. Her brother's in town on leave. She hasn't seen him in 3 years, and I agreed to let him stay last weekend. She told him to help himself to anything in the fridge that he wanted. He ate all of my food. She works for a bloody grocery store. She should have bought his food. She refuses to replace my food. I kicked them to the curb, and I'm so pissed right now. I don't get paid until next week. I had to borrow grocery money from a friend. Oh my god, we're starting the episode with such an infuriating post. They're in somebody else's house and they're saying that they can eat whatever they want and help themselves to any of their food. Oh yeah, I wonder why this person was evicted. I wonder if it might be related to this sort of behavior. Yeah, like the top comment says, gee, I wonder why she was evicted. Sounds like a class act. Her landlord must have had to deal with all sorts of crap, not the a-hole. And then OP responded, oh my god, she placed the blame squarely on her ex. I didn't find out until I kicked them out what she put him through. She would often quit jobs and let him support her on an income that was not sufficient for one person. I got his side of the story finally. She's a horrible person. It won't be long before she quits her work. She feels like she shouldn't be bothered to do things that aren't always fun, and work falls into that category. She's also a very good liar. She fooled me once, never again. She's a memory now. Every single day I feel like we've read every entitled person ever, but they keep on coming. The next one is called, Am I the a-hole for getting my niece arrested? Okay, here goes. I found out that my mother, 77, has had huge chunks of money being taken out of her bank accounts for months. We're talking nearly £1,000. It's all from Amazon Prime and music. Also items that were bought from Amazon. I found out it was my entitled, self-centered 24-year-old niece who took my mum's bank card out of her bag and took a photo of it and then used it for said items. So mum went to the police to report it as she thought it was fraud. Now onto why I might be the a-hole is that mum doesn't want to press charges as my niece is her weak spot, but I talked her into it. Edit, she's been trying to gaslight mum again, claiming that she never knew about this, saying it was her scummy boyfriend that did it, and then changed her story to say that it was Amazon's fault. She then claimed because he's tagged, he'll go to jail. Also, because it's such a small amount of money, the police won't go after her. I should say, the boyfriend bought himself a gaming chair, bought a reclining chair, bought a cinema-style chair. So where did she think these came from, Santa? Update, I just got a call from this smug little biatch, saying that we can't prove that the chairs weren't gifts, and that she contacted Amazon to cancel, therefore mum will get a refund. So I demanded that she send the email, which she did. And yeah, you guessed it, it's a fake email. Furious, I hung up and I've blocked her. This is damn unreal. Yeah, no, they can't be doing stuff like that. Of course you're not the a-hole. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. Someone needs to hold her accountable for her crimes. And mum needs to take off the rose-tinted glasses. Yeah, and how ridiculous too. Like they took a photo of their bloody card. Oh no, I'm not the one in the wrong here. It's totally fine for me to take money from people. People are so bloody ridiculous. The next one is called, They Dropped Her Off at My House. Rant. Wasn't sure where to post this. 4 days ago, I made my account and I contemplated asking if I was an a-hole for something. My half-sister, HS, had called me crying, saying that our mother kicked her out and she really needs her sister. I hung up the first time, and when she kept calling and texting, I told her that we're not actually sisters and I wasn't driving 6 hours to pick her up, nor letting her stay with me. I've been getting non-stop messages and calls from my maternal family since then. My maternal grandmother, the only person I stayed in contact with, pretty much begged me to be a good sister and let half-sister stay with me. She told my half-sister that I've got my own house and gave her my number, etc. I've blocked my grandmother and everyone, saying that I should be understanding because we've both been abandoned by our mother. It isn't the same. I told my grandmother this, but no one seems willing to acknowledge that. For context, my half-sister and I are exactly 9 months apart in age. She's the product of an affair and my dad stayed with my biological mother until I was 5 and told him that she kept bringing a man around when he wasn't home. Her affair partner, AP, and half-sister's biological dad divorced biological mum and gave her the house in exchange for removing his name from half-sister's birth certificate. Biological mum lost custody of me when I was 8 after abandoning me because affair partner didn't want to bring a child that wasn't his into family gatherings. Dad tried to keep it civil so I could have a relationship with my half-sister, but she was like the mini affair partner and never viewed me as a sister. I didn't like being around her, so my dad never forced me to. Biological mother had been in childcare and lost her job because no one wants to hire you to watch their kids when you abandon your doors in the middle of the night. I haven't seen half-sister in 17 years. I didn't even know what she looked like until I came home today. She was sitting on my front porch with a suitcase and a car, I think my grandmother's, and pulled off as soon as I parked. I didn't get out of the car, I was too angry to even move, and I'm still angry right now. She kept saying that she needs me and started crying, telling me that our mum was awful, her dad cut contact, and biological mum's new partner doesn't want her in his house. I live next door to my dad, so when half-sister started knocking on my car window after I just stared at her, I called him and I told him what was going on and asked him what I should do. Dad told me to stay in my car and call the cops, say I had a trespasser, which I did. I didn't get out until the cops came, and when they did, half-sister told them I agreed to let her stay and now I'm leaving her homeless. I just showed them the text, specifically the only text I gave in response to everyone demanding I let her stay. No to do you have the space? No to can she please stay with you? Nothing but refusals before I block people. When half-sister kept saying that we're sisters, I told the cops I haven't seen this woman in 17 years. I don't know her. I didn't even know what she looked like. We're not family beyond sharing an egg donor. I went as far as unblocking my grandmother and calling her. I didn't even get to speak. She said and yelled, "Look, I love you, but you need to get over this. She's family and she needs you. And I've told your father that you'd go to hell if he raised you to be so damn selfish. And you definitely will, because she's going through the same thing that you did." She hung up right after, and I told the cops that they can book half-sister or drop her at a shelter. I don't care. I just want her off my property. They took her, and now I'm sitting here on my dad's couch wondering what the hell just happened. He doesn't want me staying alone right now in case they show back up. I'm so pissed right now. I don't get it. 17 damn years of no contact. I only speak to my grandmother on holidays. I don't know most of the aunts and uncles and cousins that blew up my phone, but because biological mother pushed me out, I have to do what they tell me to. I'm 25 years old. I've only had my dad and my paternal family for years. Biological mum and her family haven't done crap for me. None of them even know when my damn birthday is, because even my grandmother texts me on the wrong day. Not even a phone call. If half-sister needs help so bad, one of you should help her. I don't know her. I don't know any of you either. I'm not letting an entire stranger into my house. And 6 hours is too far to visit when I had surgery, but not too far to try and force me to do something. Yeah, this is not your responsibility. That's so frustrating and sad. The top comment says, yeah, the maternal side of your family should be helping out here and taking her in. It's not your responsibility. The next post is an update to this. Update, they dropped her off at my house. For clarity to new people, HS equals maternal half-sister, BM equals biological mother, BM's mother equals maternal grandmother, RO equals restraining order, TO equals no trespassing order, TRO is temporary restraining order. Am I the only one that finds it hard to remember all of these abbreviations on Reddit? I understand it in this situation, but sometimes people abbreviate stuff that doesn't need to be abbreviated. Like the other day, somebody put DL and I had no idea what it was, and it was driver's license. Like, why does that need to be shortened? It can be so confusing. But yeah, onto the update. I checked the camera footage last night and this morning. Half-sister and biological mum's mother had been looking under mats and rocks, in potted plants in the mailbox, and checking the doors. Probably were looking for a spare key. I don't keep on my property, and my dad and grandma and grandpa have keys that they keep with theirs. My uncle did an overhaul of mine and dad's cameras. We now have ones that send notifications to our phones when motion is detected. Also got a Ring doorbell for the front and back doors. There are other features and older cameras that are better hidden as well. I went to the police department while I was doing this, and I brought my grandpa with me. Half-sister was booked for trespassing, but not held very long since biological mum's mother picked her up from the station. They stuck to the lie of offering half-sister a place to stay and gave statements. Not sure how that's going to go, but I'm taking steps to protect myself and my property and my dad and his property. Half-sister doesn't have a record beyond this, so this was her first offense. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It sounds awful, but I would have hoped that she would have had at least one prior, because commenters make it seem like that would make the outcome of a permanent restraining order and no trespassing order favourable. Biological mum's mother does have a record though. Harassment, trespassing and domestic violence. I shared this with the police as well. Either way, I was able to get a temporary restraining order today, so there's that. I gave the camera footage to the police alongside copies of the text messages, printed out and on a USB. Gave a statement and they called a judge to get the restraining order issued. I talked with them about other things like self-defense recommendations, overhauling my security system, getting a gun for protection, and so on. I was really anxious and I just kept talking because it finally hit me that these people know where I live and they're willing to make the 6 hours to harass me and get inside my home. The text and voice messages haven't stopped. I unblocked and muted. There are direct and indirect threats. Biological mum's mother is adamant that since I have an entire house to myself, a stable job and no children, I will be housing half-sister or she'd give me the ass whooping that my dad should have. How dare they? Half-sister has only left one voice message about coming over later today, and that she's staying with me because that's what blood does, they help. When there was no response, she sent multiple texts telling me I need to be more understanding, that she's in a tough spot, and that she's moving in for at least a week until she's able to support herself. It's 7 days to gain tenancy here. Oh my god, these people are wild. Additional clarification for people asking about the age gap. I'm a February 1st baby. Half-sister is a November 29th baby. I say exactly 9 months because I'm not counting the weeks and days. I felt that people knowing that we're the same age was relevant and gave context to why I have no relationship with her. I don't know if she was premature. I never asked, to be honest, and there are people saying that they have similar gaps around them, so I have nothing to add. Multiple people also asked if I hate half-sister and that I sound resentful for things she said as a child and for things her parents did. I talked to someone in the comments and I admitted that had this been a few years earlier, I may have helped half-sister without much thought. I know as children she was just parroting her parents. I don't fault her for that, nor do I blame her for biological mother abandoning me, but it's been 17 years. We've been legal adults for 7 of those years. She could have reached out at any point, but didn't, and said that she had no sister. I also could have reached out at any point, but also didn't. I just moved on with my life. I was in therapy since I was abandoned, and it took me years to move on from no one on that side actually wanting me. Now she's making herself a problem. Half-sister was sitting on my porch with a suitcase, ready to force herself into my home and life. She allowed herself to be driven 6 hours to my home, sat on my porch for half an hour, and then lied to police all after I said no multiple times. She never claimed me until she needed something, and now she's forcing herself into my life on the basis of being family. I don't hate her, that's too much energy, but I do resent her now alongside her grandmother and the rest of her family. I was ignored for years, and now I feel unsafe in my own home just because half-sister and those around her can't take no for an answer. This isn't about biological mum's affair, this is about half-sister and her family ruining my safe space, my home, with their crap. The past is a factor in that resentment now because, again, I haven't spoken to her in 17 years. I didn't know what she looked like, but suddenly we're sisters because she needs some place to stay. I definitely resent that. Also, I feel validated in my choices. Posting to Reddit asking for and taking advice, listening to my dad. The attorney I spoke to pretty much said all the same things that commenters have. Unblocking and muting to get evidence of harassment. Calling the cops and showing them the messages because it proves there was no implied invitation. This is apparently the biggest thing I had to worry about because even letting half-sister stay on my porch could have worked against me. Giving the cops the camera footage of half-sister and biological mum's mother looking for a spare key was also a very good move. Even going about upgrading security and getting self-defense items and asking the officers about self-defense recommendations and my wish to get a gun for protection works in my favour. It shows that even though this was half-sister's first offence, I don't feel safe and she's a major cause of that. So thank you again for all the advice. If they show up like they said, I'm going to set off my security system and call the cops. Edit from a comment, it wasn't active, the restraining order, when I posted the update, because they hadn't been served yet. They were found at a hotel near my home and they were served. A neighbour saw them and called the police. I was reporting the text though. The restraining order is on both half-sister and biological mum's mother. Oh god, what an awful situation. That was such an adventure to read. And yeah, like this comment says, she's 23, 24, she's a legal adult. You don't need to house her, and there are reasons why others won't. You keep doing you. It's obvious that she's extremely entitled, even if only slightly younger than you. And how far were they traveling? Like 6 hours? Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're 100% doing the right thing. Gotta keep these people out. The next one is called I've upgraded to first class. Background: airline captain, commuting to work, purchased a full fare first class ticket to get there. Lived in Atlanta at the time. Domiciled in Houston and commuted. Normally you could get a jump seat in the cockpit, but on this auspicious day, that was already taken. Pass riding wasn't an option because there were no seats in coach and only one in first. Pass riders can be bumped for fare paying passengers, and I needed to get to work, so I plunked down my credit card and I bought the last seat in first. Boarding has occurred and I'm peacefully in my seat, waiting for pushback. Cast of characters: me, commuting pilot; EW, entitled woman; FA, flight attendant; CPT, captain of the flight that I'm on. Entitled woman: you're sitting in my seat, you'll need to move right now. Me, checks boarding pass: no, this is my seat, not gonna happen, sorry. Entitled woman: you're an employee, you're sitting in my seat, move now. Me, may I see your boarding pass? Clearly there's been some mistake. Entitled woman: you may not see my boarding pass, I showed that when I boarded, I've upgraded to first class, now move. You'll need to resolve this with the flight crew, I'm a passenger. Entitled woman stomps off, resembling an irritated Dolores Umbridge, and returns with the flight attendant. Flight attendant: good morning, captain, may I see your boarding pass? Me, sure thing, shows the boarding pass. Flight attendant: ma'am, that's his seat, he paid for it. Entitled woman: well then throw him off, dear, I've upgraded to first class and that is now my seat. Flight attendant: I'll need to see your boarding pass, ma'am. Entitled woman: you will not. I showed it when I boarded. I've upgraded to first class. Flight attendant, how did you upgrade to first class? Entitled woman, I upgraded to first class. I'm more important than an employee. Now get him out of my seat. Someone has called the cockpit and the captain has left the flight deck to deal with this. Captain, ma'am, I'm Captain Wallaby. Not his real name. Yeah, I did guess that. I've just spoken with the gate agent. We certainly apologize for this awkward situation. The agent has corrected your paperwork and has a voucher for future travel for you as well. Please go fetch your new boarding pass and your voucher and we'll be on our way. Entitled woman departs up the jetway with a triumphant smile on her face. The captain turns to the flight attendant and says, prepare the doors for departure. The doors close. The captain returns to the cockpit and as we push back from the gate, I can see the entitled woman pounding on the glass next to the jetway. It was a nice ride to Houston. The coffee was wonderful. Yeah, wow, that's definitely not the first time that the captains had to do that. You can tell that they knew what to do immediately. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna be a huge pain. Goodbye then. The next one is called Sister Expected Me to Deliver Her Inheritance Furniture. I, 56 female, have an entitled older sister, 62 female. She has no friends except her crochet group. She's killed all of her relationships with her toxicity except for her daughter. Our father has had to move into care. As his legal decision maker, I have the job of selling his property. Sister came to Dad's and indicated what items that she wanted. Also trying to claim an item that was willed to someone by my father. I told her she needed to arrange transport for things. She did nothing. I spoke to my father's solicitor to ask if I could use Dad's funds to pay for transportation. Sister hasn't worked full-time in more than 40 years and always cries poor. I arranged transport of stuff and advised drop-off time. And she told me it needed to be delivered earlier because she had something on. I paid extra for earlier delivery, nearly $400. I've been unsuccessful in selling Dad's furniture, so I've given it to people in need where I can. Sister finds out and demands more furniture if I'm giving it away. I told her that she'd need to organize transport and that I couldn't assist with carrying her furniture due to shoulder injuries. She runs crying and bad-mouthing me to our cousin. So cousin says she and her husband will do the heavy lifting. Cousin, female 74, has a bad back and husband, male 72, has dementia and has had several falls recently. I lost my tiny mind when I found out and I refused to allow this. And now my cousin isn't speaking to me because we should help each other as family. My sister has been no contact with cousin for more than 20 years after accusing her of trying to steal sister's ex-husband. They've only reconnected because of Dad going into care. What the hell? I feel like I'm in an alternate reality. Update. My sister, who's blocked on all of my social media, has gained access to my Facebook posts. I've been using Facebook to brain dump my feelings and anger. So sister has shown them to the cousin, and the cousin told me I'm bitter and that my mother is rolling in her grave because of my Facebook posts. My sister's the reason that my father's still alive. He contracted pneumonia for the second time in 5 weeks while in hospital. His advanced health directive written in his own hand said that he did not want life-saving medication in those circumstances. He's 94. As his legal representative due to his dementia, I told the doctor I didn't want him to be given antibiotics and the doctor prescribed them for him because my sister threatened and harassed the medical team. My dad was living independently before he went to hospital. Now he sits in an adult nappy in his own urine and feces. He chokes on pureed food to the point of vomiting. My father was a wonderful father and watching this has been indescribably painful. I have many lovely friends and I have used Facebook to update them and to talk about how awful dementia is. Many people have thanked me for their honesty and it's meant that people have reached out to me for comfort and understanding as they travel the same journey. My sister has used select posts to drive a wedge between myself and my cousin. So now I'm the evil one. If it wasn't so painful, it would be an amazing farce worthy of daytime soaps. The sister sounds awful. Yeah, that was a wild ride, but I feel like that's enough for today. Let's read something a lot more wholesome. Vin Diesel reaching out the window. Oh, to give a little kitty a scratch. That's 100% what's happening. Cats are so beautiful. Hey, I have cats. I love showing you guys pictures of the cats. Here's a recent one of Chico. Here's a recent one of Jin. Here's another recent one of Jin. Here's a recent one of Nez. Here's 2 more recent ones of Nez. These alien comics are so good. Do you want to ingest with us? Thank you. I am unknown in this region. Is there a syllable sequence being used to address you? Yes, but you may find it difficult to pronounce. Then we'll just practice until we can. Oh, that's so wholesome in an alien sort of way. These ones are by Nathan Pyle. So cute. Complimentary bread. You are so smart. You look amazing. You inspire me. Aw, thank you, bread. Not only are you delicious, but you give compliments. That's amazing. Okay, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Entitled People episodes, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Meaton3805. Malicious compliance is the best. I think it's so fun because it has a little bit of entitled people and petty revenge in almost every post. Yeah, 100% 100%. And I'm also so happy we started reading Petty Revenge. Because, yeah, you're right. That's what makes Malicious Compliance so good. The petty revenge aspect. And yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed the episodes. Thank you all for the support. It means so much to me. Got a brand new adventure planned for tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!